All right. Good afternoon, viewers of ProsTalk and Buildee. Maraming salamat po for tuning in for today's session. We have a very special guest. But before that, just really quick, just a recap of what Buildee is. Buildee is an online platform that hopefully is the one-stop shop for all your building needs. And ProsTalk, this is our way of giving back to the community. This is a non-paid promotion of professionals and products that are really helping homeowners build their dream houses. So this afternoon, I have a very special guest. We will be speaking with the award-winning architect Jordan Ong. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miss Natalie. Hindi pa naman award-winning.
Award nominee.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Boss, really quick before we dig into your very, very colorful architecture journey, can you just give us briefly a background, boss, kung saan po tayo nag-graduate, high school and college para, the Filipinos watching are, get to know you better?
Yeah, actually, I'm a graduate of a very small school in Binondo. It's Lorenzo Rees Academy, formerly known as Crusader. That's actually beside Binondo Church. Sa mga food blogger dyan, that's right across Chuanqui, the very famous Gampang rice, diba? Then I'm a graduate of the architecture in the University of Santo Tomas,
Right.
College of Architecture. Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, architect, are you affiliated, or what are your affiliations in terms of architecture organizations?
Well, I'm currently a member of the United Architects of the Philippines. Our chapter is Manila Metro Chapter. I'm currently serving as the chapter treasurer right now. So our chapter is basically one of the biggest chapter in the Philippines for the UAP. Yeah.
Right.
We have almost 400 members. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic to hear. So, architect, as you built your profession, and I think you're still growing, you're nominated, but what would you say would be your biggest challenge, in that architectural profession, especially in the Philippine setting?
Well, challenge-wise talaga, basically it's more of my passion kasi. So the challenge is convincing the client to go with your design.
Okay.
Diba? So there are some clients who wants to have their own input, diba? So our job really is to give them advice, to tell them if their ideas are good or bad.
Right.
That's actually one of the biggest challenge, and of course getting a project is also a challenge because currently there are 50,000 architects, I believe, in the Philippines. So it's a very, very, shall I say, parang ganyan.
Right. Yeah, right. So, from your experience, right, sabi niyo nga, ang pinaka-greatest challenge sometimes is yung mga homeowners or the owners themselves, meron silang sarili nilang idea that in your mind, hindi magfa-fly based on what they have. How do you break it to them? How do you say it, or how do you help them understand kung saan kayo nanggagaling and why your design is actually a more sound design?
Number one, actually, I don't want to sound antagonistic to them. So basically, number one yan. Kasi mga clients, they don't want to feel, parang kinokontra mo sila, diba? So, syempre may mga ibang clients, especially homeowners, they want personal feel nila, personal touch nila.
Right.
So what my job is to tell them the pros and cons of their decision. I'm gonna advise them, if you go with this route, this is gonna happen to your design. If you go to this route, ganon. Sometimes kasi hindi feasible. Sometimes what they want is not feasible, and it's not just aesthetically unpleasing, but functionally wise, medyo magkakaproblema. Like for example, if they want to put up a grill in a certain part of the house and it's outside, ang tendency is it would be prone to leak, diba? So I need to advise them on those cases, diba? That's my job actually. Yeah.
Alright. Right, right, right. Good architect. Kasi I think for the viewers of ProsTalk, right? So, ang viewers po natin diverse. Merong builders or homeowners na gustong mag-renovate or whatever. And we also have a group of in our audience are engineers and architects themselves. So, it's good po na marinig namin yan or marinig
Yeah.
nila from you that number one, you don't be antagonistic, right? I mean, maybe mas nakakaalam ka, but if you want them to actually listen and execute your design, kailangan ma-win mo over yung customer or yung client.
True.
So,
True.
so can you
Yeah.
share with us, architect, ang iyong design philosophy? What's your personal signature in terms of architecture?
Design philosophy ko more on, I'm leaning more towards the minimalist modern. Basically, I'm more on the Japanese Asian style.
Hmm.
I have a lot of Japanese architects as my influence. Very
Ah,
clean, very honest lines. Yes.
that's good. Pero meron bang buyers and is that popular amongst Filipino builders or owners right now?
Right
Yung
now, meron pa. Actually, right now, what the current trend right now is kasi the clients are getting younger na. Actually,
mm,
most of my clients are ranging from mid-30s to late 40s eh. So medyo modern na sila. So shall I say they're more of artistically inclined already. Not like the previous generations. Ang number one mantra nila to me is wag mo gandahan. Wag mo gandahan yung labas, yung loob gandahan mo para hindi para hindi takaw BIR. 'Yun yung mantra eh, 'yun yung usual mantra eh, 'di ba? Pero
yes.
right now, it's actually changing and actually leaning towards a positive change in terms of acceptance in modern design. Yeah.
Right, right. So meron ng naghahanap ngayon ng curb appeal
Yes.
before kahit na hindi maganda yung labas basta pagpasok, okay. All right.
Yes.
I think I see that also, architect, in the neighborhood I'm living in. Maraming bahay na tinitear down actually kasi they're building something, new. All right.
Mm.
So, architect, pagka halimbawa meron kayong kliyenteng kausap, no, are you able to realistically give a timeline na, okay, if we start a certain time, matatapos yung bahay mo at a certain time? Is that something na feasible in the
Actually,
construction?
actually, a project actually that involves not just the contractor, not just the architect. Eh. Actually, it involves also the owner.
Yes.
So, for the project to be able to finish on time, we need the full support of the owner as well. Sometimes, kasi there are decision makings that we really need to get from the owner, like
Okay.
choosing a particular tiles, choosing a particular fixture, lighting fixtures. There are so many decisions that the owner has to make, and
Right.
those in turn would add up to cost of delay if medyo mabagal si owner mag-decide. Of
Right.
course, there's also the issue of yung contractor naman meeting the timetable, 'di ba?
Right.
Basically, for a single detached house, I could say safe na ang 14 months. Safe na ang 14 months. But I have projects who go as long as 2 years.
Wow.
2 years, yes, yes. Pag residential, it's much faster for buildings because I also have building projects.
Uh-huh.
So it's much faster for buildings. And actually, for a 12-story building, siguro mga 12 months, okay na yon.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, interesting, 2 years.
Mm.
Okay, all right. So, architect, how do you now stay in touch with the construction process post this pandemic, right? I know
Yes,
there's a
yes.
lot of restrictions. So, how do you stay in touch with your people, with the team?
So most of our meetings are already actually done via Zoom.
Okay,
Pero pag merong mga instances that I really have to go there and check the work and make a decision, talaga I make it a point to go there. So we normally at site naman, we normally follow the COVID protocols.
okay,
So I have a request talaga to on all my projects, if ever I'm gonna go there and visit, especially with the owner. We ask the workers to come down first para lesser interaction, para yung mga engineers lang are allowed to go inside kasi for the safety rin ng owners, 'di ba? So
right,
para yung social distancing kasi pag sa job site Usually magulo yan.
Well, thank you, Architect Jordan, for sharing that. No, I think one of the theme of what you're saying is karamihan ng traditional na ginagawa ng mga architect post or pre-COVID, pwede namang magawa ngayon post-COVID, leveraging technology. And I think in your case, isa sa pinaka nagagamit niyong platform is Zoom. But I know for a fact that there is also Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. To a certain extent, you know, you guys can also use Facebook Messenger. So marami po tayong paraan para ma-overcome yung mga limitations na meron in terms of the new reality, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world, no? The post-pandemic, well, sabi nga nila new normal, but right now, inaalam pa natin kung ano ba yung mga talagang normal na at bago pa. And I think from a construction perspective, although meron na po tayong guidelines and protocols, at the end of the day, nasa sa tao pa rin yan, nasa sa arkitekto, nasa sa home builder, kung paano nila poproteksyonan ang sarili nila at ang kanilang pamilya during this time. So, isang takeaway also, architect, sa sinabi nyo, no? I'm reflecting on what you said, that you're a member of UAP, you're also a certified ASEAN architect, and there are 50,000 architects, and there's only 129 that are ASEAN architects. I think yun po, no, it's something that our audience need to understand what that means for them when they actually engage certified architects like yourself. What is the benefit vis-a-vis the potential cost? But I think one of your message for UAP, your tagline, which is for any project, hire an architect. I think it's a great way po, no, to convey the need and the value for every Filipino who is thinking of investing hard-earned money, right, to construct, to ensure that that money is well spent. And the best way to ensure that that money is well spent is when you invest in the right resources that will ensure that you get the value for what you're paying for. And the only group of people that can do that are the professional architects and their partners, the engineers. Because kung wala po yan, at, you know, wala pong mga lisensya, lalo na po, no, yung hire yung mga resources para sa mga project nyo, yung risk nyo po dyan ay pwede pong nakatipid, pero marami po tayong mga safety hazards na baka hindi na i-consider. And then in the long run, babalik po lahat yan sa atin at marirealize natin, sayang sana nag-hire na lang ako ng mga professional para hindi ko na i-experience ngayon tong mga issues na ito. So having said that, I think, Architect Jordan, thank you so much, no? Kasi I think your insight in today's session, and it's good to remind all the professionals out there, no, the professional architects, that they need to be active members of UAP, because within that, you're able to really discuss, learn, constantly learn. Pag wala po tayong mga kasama, you know, if you're isolated, medyo from a networking standpoint, pwede po siyang maging challenge. And at the same time, the best way to learn is to learn from people. And I think yun yung mga key takeaways that we've had from Architect Jordan Ong. So again, thank you so much po for the time that you've spent with us today. I know how busy you are. We at Buildee are very grateful that you've allowed us to actually do a shoot of the projects that you're currently working on so that we can showcase that to our audience. So with that, for our audience at home and those that are watching, possibly abroad, please do tune in to Buildee. We are building more, we're creating more videos that will help give you tips, relevant understanding of the trends, and also safety and precautions that you need to take if you're building. Also, we are actually interviewing more professionals on this show so that you, our audience, can benefit from their insight and from their experiences. So having said that, good afternoon again. Thank you for tuning in to ProsTalk, and we're looking forward to seeing you again in the next coming weeks. Thank you so much.